Hold on. Before you watch the rest of the video, I have a new site on Tippy where you can see lots of unseen videos and more. Link in description. Don't miss out. Join the team and enjoy the video.
As much as use that cue, we have two ladies here who are taking that role, playing that role of funders. And I'm sure all that Pushpa mentioned resonates with you in terms of how you want that information, how it's given. And this is not so much on the information, but more on ease of doing business, which is what technology is about. Like you both mentioned, it's the enabler. How have you enabled your organization to be more accessible? How do you enable the partners that you work with, and how are you using technology for these collaborations? And it could be with the NGOs, or it could even be with partner organizations that you're working with, or even other donor partners if you're collaborating. So on the theme of collaboration and ease of doing business, if both of you could respond, please, that would be great.
Sure. On the theme of partnership, so the digital divide, so to say, which exists. So that's
engage with. To work with Shikhar Dhawan, they might have to learn a few tools to learn, to work with DLF. It might be a different set of reporting. I think to have a unified kind of understanding of those systems, reporting is needed, everybody agrees, right? But to have common sets of tools, a common platform is probably something that is desirable. But maybe Ratnesh, if you can throw light on what would you, because you have a more neutral standpoint, on what would be your ask of CSRs if we were to leverage technology to bridge this gap towards the SDGs faster?
Thank you. Actually, since 2000, we have this system of reporting. So anyone who wants to be a member of the UN Global Compact, I'm just using it as an illustration.
Ease of doing business will be, I'm going to presumptuously say below 5. How many for yes for below 5? On ease of doing business, reporting, and how technology can be an enabler would be, I think, a high stake item, which I believe the government needs to play a role. The social stock exchange, I think, has begun to play a role. There will be a lot. But we're probably veering away, and we have 6.5 minutes, and I want to talk about some big bets which technology can take. If I were to ask the panel on what would be that big bet that you would take in your area of work, and I know this is kind of a googly, we haven't discussed this probably, but even if it's just aspirational for your foundation in your area of work, what would be that big level shifter that technology can do for you? Maybe I'll start with you for your experience. Ratnesh.
Sure. I mean, we have, and as ma'am was speaking, and ultimately voice started breaking down at one point. So that kind of last mile connectivity, that I would like to invest in the next 4 or 5 years, that the actual person in, say, Bastar, Abujmar is also equally able to communicate, voice his concerns, raise his issues. That last mile connectivity is what I think we have to invest in. Government of India has done their bit. We also are required to contribute and support, because it's a huge project. I mean, every panchayat is supposed to be connected by this broadband. What is the status? What is the utilization? What is the digital literacy component that is required? I think we should focus on that, because an empowered citizenry is, at the end of the day, that is the source of all revolution, all change, all transformation. Because however nicely designed programs, however inclusive our claims are, ultimately if the people at the last mile are not able to exercise their rights, it is all incomplete.
So equity, access, last mile connectivity.
Through technology.
Through technology.
And enabling of both the hardware side as well as the training and capacity.
Okay, wonderful. Kanika?
Well, likewise, I think bringing tech to every door, every home, whatever corner of the country it is, most important. Second, like Sir said, bringing digital literacy, because just only providing a hardware for it or just providing an infrastructure for it and saying it's done, it's not done. going to the grassroots level and start making that change, spending time with that community, engaging them, getting them to understand, and then still waiting on it to see that the impact we required is created. That is where our tech would be successful.
So from access to awareness and literacy, so there's added enablement.
And that's where even I am. And in fact, I covered it previously also when I spoke of digital literacy. And I'll give an example here. One of our programs is a Suvidha Kendra where beneficiaries can actually access government welfare schemes, which are applicable for them, but they are not aware of them and they don't know how to do, right? So it happens through smart digital cards called Yojana cards, right? Which have a lifetime availability, validity for them, and they can actually access. Now here, the biggest challenge is actually literacy, making them understand on how to use it. So digital literacy forms the basis of it. And like I said, going back to the COVID era, there was a time where we were, as most CSRs, we were investing in, reducing the digital divide in terms of digital equipment, fast internet connectivity. That's another challenge which I feel still exists. To actually make it more sustainable, we have to make it more equitable, right? And these two are the cornerstones. But I go back to what Sir said. From a pure tech enablement and reporting standards, I think we do need government and BRSR and so many agencies to come at a unified measure, because these metrics and everything keeps changing, right? So like on one, it's the last mile connectivity to enable the end beneficiary to actually benefit from the various programs which exist.
Having some standards, and many of the grant makers are making that kind of a standards. Can it be simplified for most of the NGOs so that they can at least come to a bare minimum level, as I said, must to have and good to have, so that at least those who are working at a grassroots level are able to give proposal and it is accepted as compared to the corporate NGOs? Yep, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, UN is basically a collection of all of us together. So whatever UN does, it will be in consultation, and we provide a convening role, but we don't have a mandate to guide that what corporate should do and what nation should do. So basically the UN General Assembly gives me the authority to engage with the private sector, but that is a limited authority. Similarly, there are various agencies and bodies of UN which perform different functions, but definitely we all talk to each other and work towards that kind of a thing. But technology is overcoming all these issues, as we just agreed. So we will definitely, find sooner rather than later solutions to these kind of divergent requirements from the NGOs. And on the grassroots, winds of change are blowing, and definitely the remotest NGOs also have a lot of urge to learn these new techniques, adopt this, and the 59% which ma'am mentioned of lack of infrastructure and all is changing slowly, because there are a lot of untied aid being provided to these institutions for capacity building and tech enablement. So I'm confident that things will definitely change for the good in the years to come. But definitely I'll keep your suggestion whenever I meet next my counterparts in